Discipline isn't punishment. It's the doorway to freedom. Freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom of mind. But sadly, most people fear discipline, but the wealthy fear regret. Small disciplines, practice daily, build big riches. But here's the catch. They don't feel big at first. Reading 10 pages a day doesn't feel like much. Investing $10 a day doesn't feel exciting. Saying no to that impulse purchase feels like you're missing out. But add that up over years, it's not small anymore. It's enormous. It's the difference between a life of options and a life of obligation. Wages buy comfort. Wealth buys options. That's the real game here. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you might have comfort for now, but are you building options for the future? Are you planting seeds or just eating the fruit you earned this week? There's a reason so many people feel stuck. They're trading today's ease for tomorrow's trap. The wealthy trade today's effort for tomorrow's freedom. So, the question is simple. Do you want comfort today, or do you want options tomorrow? Because life will give you either one, but not both. Choose wisely. Let me tell you something about wealth that's not born from sudden windfalls or dramatic breakthroughs. Too many people wait for the big moment, the big opportunity, the big stroke of luck. But that's not how lasting wealth is built. Real financial success comes quietly through small, consistent disciplines practiced day after day. It's like planting seeds. You don't plant an oak tree and expect it to grow overnight. You water it every day, nurture it patiently, and over time it grows into something strong and magnificent. I remember when I first started on my own journey, I didn't have a fortune waiting for me. What I had was a determination to do a little better every day. I made it a habit to save a small portion of my income no matter how little I earned. It wasn't about making huge deposits, it was about making the deposit every single month. I studied a page of a good book daily, absorbing wisdom and principles that later transformed my approach to money and life. I didn't just dream about wealth. I took small steps that moved me forward consistently without fail. Think about IT if you save just a small amount every day, over a year, that adds up to something substantial. If you improve your financial knowledge even a little bit daily, your decisions grow wiser, your investments smarter. It's the power of small wins repeated over time that compounds into big results. This is the mindset that separates the wealthy from those who struggle. It's not about grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs. It's about steady, persistent effort. Many people say, I don't have time to read or invest or plan today. But the truth is, the time you spend ignoring those small disciplines is the time you lose on building your financial future. Every day you delay, you miss an opportunity to compound your gains, to sharpen your thinking, to develop habits that will serve you for decades. The wealthy don't wait for motivation or a perfect day. They make their habits unstoppable. And here's something else to consider. Consistency builds confidence. When you know you're doing the right thing every day, your mindset shifts. You start to believe that wealth is not just a possibility, but an inevitability. You stop being a spectator of life and become the architect of your future. It's a transformation that no large, sudden event can give you. Only repeated small disciplines can. So, don't underestimate the power of saving a little, reading a little, investing a little, and thinking a little better each day. It's these small actions, compounded over months and years, that create breakthroughs that seem miraculous only to those who weren't patient enough to see the process. Wealth is not a lightning strike, it's a slow and steady fire that grows from consistent care and effort. Remember this, the richest people you know didn't get there by chance. They arrived because they mastered the art of daily discipline. They chose to win a little every day, and those small wins added up to a fortune. Your future depends on what you do today, not tomorrow, not next week. Start small, be consistent, and watch how the door to financial freedom opens for you. That's how wealth is truly built. Most people spend their lives trading hours for dollars. They clock in, work hard, and expect a paycheck in return. But here's the truth. Time is limited. No matter how many hours you work, there's a ceiling to what your paycheck can become. That's the trap of trading time for money. If you want to build wealth, you must shift your thinking away from selling hours to selling value. When I began to understand this principle, it changed everything. I realized that my income wasn't about how many hours I put in, but about how much value I could deliver. Think about it. A doctor or a lawyer doesn't get paid by the hour the same way a worker might. They get paid for the expertise and solutions they provide. Wealthy people focus on solving problems, creating products, or offering services that impact many people, not just working for a fixed wage. You must ask yourself, what problems can I solve that matter? How can I serve more people? How can I package my skills so they reach a wider audience? This is the mindset that takes you beyond the limits of a paycheck. When you create value that benefits many, your income can grow exponentially. Consider entrepreneurs who build companies that serve thousands or millions. They don't work 10,000 hours themselves. Instead, they build systems and teams that multiply their value and reach. The wealthy focus on scalability because it's the path to true financial freedom. This requires a shift in how you think about your time and talents. The key is to become indispensable by mastering your skills and then applying them in ways that generate leverage. Whether it's through teaching, consulting, creating products, or innovating, you're no longer limited by your time. Your wealth begins to grow because you are solving bigger problems for more people. In my own journey, I found that whenever I added more value to others' lives, my income rose naturally. It wasn't about working harder, but working smarter and focusing on the impact I could create. The mindset of adding value daily transforms how you approach work, money, and success. So, stop trading all your time for money. Instead, start thinking about how you can trade value for wealth. When you shift your focus from hours worked to problems solved, doors open, opportunities multiply, and your financial results will reflect the value you bring to the world. The choice is yours, will you stay stuck trading time for limited income? Or will you become a creator of value and build wealth that grows beyond your hours? Remember, wealth is attracted to those who serve on a larger scale and think beyond the clock. To build wealth, it's not enough to just admire the success of others from afar. You must become a keen observer, almost like a scientist studying a fascinating experiment. Observation is a skill often overlooked, but it's one of the most powerful tools you can develop on your path to financial success. When you watch carefully how wealthy people live, spend, and invest, you begin to see the invisible threads that connect their choices to their results. In my own life, I realized early on that simply wanting wealth wasn't enough. I needed to understand how the wealthy actually think and behave. I began to watch not just what they achieved, but the daily habits and decisions that led them there. What they bought, how they handled setbacks, where they put their time and money, it all mattered. Success isn't magic. It's the outcome of consistent, smart choices, and those choices can be learned. When you observe wealthy people, notice how disciplined they are with their money. It's not just about how much they make, but how they manage it. They budget, save, and invest wisely. They don't fall into the trap of lifestyle inflation. Their spending reflects priorities, not impulses. This level of control comes from a mindset that values long-term freedom over short-term pleasure. Beyond money, watch how they invest in themselves. Wealthy people often allocate time to read, learn, and connect with mentors. They view education as a lifelong process and understand that their personal growth fuels their financial growth. This is a key difference. You can spot it in the way they schedule their days and choose their company. Observation also means paying attention to how they respond to failure and setbacks. Instead of panic or blame, they ask, what can I learn? How do I adjust? This resilience is part of their success formula and something you can emulate. The practical step here is to become intentional about your observations. Spend time with people who are where you want to be. Listen carefully. Take notes. Reflect on what you see and how you can apply it to your own life. Think like a researcher, replicate the habits, avoid the mistakes, and gradually adopt the mindset that creates wealth. Remember, wealth isn't only about numbers. It's about the choices and patterns that precede those numbers. When you master observation, you're no longer guessing how to get rich. You're learning from those who've already done it. This transforms your approach from hope to strategy and turns dreams into achievable goals. So, sharpen your eyes, open your mind, and start observing success with purpose. The patterns you discover will guide you step by step on your journey to financial freedom. Building a daily reading habit is one of the simplest yet most profound actions you can take to develop financial wisdom and create lasting wealth. It's not about devouring a mountain of books all at once. It's about consistently feeding your mind with valuable ideas, one small step at a time. Imagine this. Just 20 to 30 minutes a day, less than an hour dedicated to reading about business, wealth, and personal growth. Over weeks and months, those small doses of wisdom accumulate like compound interest, working silently behind the scenes, turning your mindset and your decisions toward greater financial breakthroughs. In my own journey, I discovered that my income was closely tied to what I knew, not just what I did. The more I read, the more ideas I gathered, and the more creative solutions I found to improve my situation. It wasn't magic or luck. It was the result of daily discipline showing up and learning consistently. Some days I read about investment strategies, other days about communication skills or leadership principles. Each nugget of knowledge planted seeds that grew over time. Reading widens your perspective and connects you with the wisdom of people who've already traveled the path you want to take. You don't have to learn everything the hard way when you have access to books written by successful entrepreneurs, financial experts, and thought leaders. Their experiences become your lessons, saving you time and costly mistakes. To build this habit, start small and be realistic. Choose books that speak directly to your goals, books that inspire, teach practical strategies, or challenge your current thinking. Set a daily time, maybe first thing in the morning or before bed when distractions are minimal. Make it sacred. It's not just reading, it's investing in yourself. Keep a notebook or journal beside you to jot down ideas, quotes, or action steps. This reinforces learning and turns passive reading into active growth. Over time, you'll notice your confidence growing. Your conversations will shift. You'll spot opportunities where others see obstacles because your mind is sharper and more informed. Remember, building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. The daily reading habit is a commitment to lifelong learning, and learning is the currency of success. Small, consistent actions create momentum. The knowledge you gain becomes the foundation for smarter financial choices and a richer life. So, commit today to invest a little time every day in your mind, because when you feed your mind daily, your wealth and your life will reflect that growth. Setting deadlines for your financial goals isn't just a suggestion, it's the engine that drives your success. Without a clear timeline, a goal remains nothing more than a hopeful thought floating in your mind. It's like planting a seed but never watering it. It won't grow. When you put a date on your ambitions, whether it's saving your first $10,000, investing $100,000, or launching your first stream of passive income, you turn vague dreams into urgent missions. Deadlines create focus, clarity, and discipline. They demand action. Early in my life, I realized that simply wanting to be rich wasn't enough. I had to decide by when I wanted to reach certain milestones, or I'd just drift through life hoping for good luck. Writing down those dates changed everything. It created a burning desire that pushed me forward, especially when obstacles came. Having a deadline transforms your mind from a passive dreamer into an active doer. Deadlines break big goals into manageable steps. For example, if you want to save $10,000 in a year, that's about $833 a month. Now the goal is practical, measurable, and achievable. This clarity removes excuses. Instead of wondering if you'll ever get there, you see exactly what you need to do each week or month. Time pressure also sparks creativity. You find ways to cut expenses, increase income, or invest wisely because the clock is ticking. You'll find that the sense of urgency compels you to prioritize what matters most. Instead of spending aimlessly or procrastinating, you begin saying no to distractions. Every decision aligns with your deadline. This focused mindset is what separates those who build wealth from those who merely wish for it. It's also important to celebrate milestones along the way. When you hit your first $1,000 saved or your first $10,000 invested, acknowledge your progress. These small wins keep you motivated and build confidence. Success is a journey of continuous wins, each with its own deadline and celebration. In life, the difference between a dream and reality is often the discipline to meet your deadlines. So don't let your goals float without direction. Write down your financial targets with realistic deadlines. Revisit them regularly and adjust if needed. But never lose the urgency. Remember, time waits for no one, but a well-set deadline makes time work for you. Set your dates, lock in your focus, and watch how your financial goals turn into achievements. Learning to say not yet is one of the most powerful habits you can develop on your journey to wealth. It's not just about denying yourself, it's about training your mind to see beyond the immediate gratification and focus on the bigger prize. When you feel the urge to buy something flashy or indulge in a costly impulse, pause and remind yourself, not yet. This simple phrase creates a mental space to evaluate whether that purchase aligns with your long-term goals. I remember early in my career when I was just starting out, the temptation to spend every extra dollar on things that looked good was strong. But the lesson that changed everything was learning to delay that gratification. Instead of rushing to upgrade my car or buy the latest gadget, I chose to save and invest that money. It wasn't always easy, but every time I said not yet, I was reinforcing my commitment to building lasting wealth instead of fleeting pleasure. This discipline isn't about deprivation. It's about wisdom and courage. It takes courage to swim against the tide of instant gratification, especially in a world designed to make you spend. But the wealthy understand that real success comes from prioritizing what lasts: financial security, freedom, and peace of mind-over momentary thrills. Saying not yet is a daily practice that strengthens your financial muscles. It's choosing a night of saving over a night out, opting to invest rather than spend. Over time, these small decisions compound into significant wealth. This mindset shift transforms you from a consumer chasing fleeting desires into a creator building a foundation for the future. So next time you face that temptation, remember the power of not yet. It's a simple phrase with profound impacta, daily exercise in discipline, patience, and foresight that separates the wealthy from the rest. Your future self will thank you for every time you chose not yet today. When extra money comes your way, a bonus at work, profits from a side hustle, or returns from an investment, the natural temptation is to celebrate by spending it. But the mindset of wealth is built on a different principle: reinvestment, not consumption. Every extra dollar you earn is an opportunity to plant a seed that will grow into even greater wealth. Think of money like a tree. When you spend all your profits immediately, you enjoy the fruit briefly, but never grow a stronger trunk or more branches. But when you reinvest those earnings, you water the roots and give your financial tree the nutrients it needs to expand and bear fruit year after year. This is the secret to building lasting wealth, the power of compounding, not just with your savings, but with your profits. I've seen many people come into sudden money and lose it as quickly as it arrived because they treated those profits like free money. But true wealth isn't a windfall, it's a steady, intentional growth. When you choose to reinvest, whether it's buying more shares, adding to your real estate portfolio, or expanding your business, you put your money to work for you. It becomes a tireless worker that earns even when you're resting or focused elsewhere. In my own life, I've learned that reinvesting profits requires discipline and vision. It's easy to justify a luxury purchase or an extravagant treat, but every dollar spent on things that don't appreciate is a dollar not working towards your future freedom. By consistently reinvesting, you build momentum. Over time, this momentum turns into a powerful force that multiplies your income and creates options you never thought possible. So, when that bonus hits your account or your side hustle starts paying off, don't fall into the trap of instant gratification. Instead, ask yourself, how can I use this money to buy me more time, more freedom, and more opportunities? That question will guide you to make decisions that build wealth steadily, intelligently, and sustainably. Reinvesting profits is not just a financial strategy, it's a mindset. It's the commitment to growing your financial tree into a mighty forest. Start with small steps today and watch your wealth build with patience and purpose. Failure isn't a wall meant to stop you, it's a signpost pointing the way forward. When it comes to money, mistakes are inevitable. Everyone, no matter how wealthy or experienced, has stumbled on the path to financial success. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise is how they treat those failures. Wealthy people don't fear failure, they welcome the lessons it brings. When you lose money, make a bad investment, or overspend, don't hide from it or feel defeated. Instead, take out a journal or a simple notebook and write down exactly what happened, why it happened, and most importantly, what you learned. This act of reflection transforms mistakes into powerful wisdom. It turns fear into confidence, because each lesson makes you smarter and better equipped for the future. I remember when I first started managing money, I made errors that cost me, but I didn't let those moments define me. I learned to dissect each failure, ask myself what I could have done differently, and adjust my strategy accordingly. Over time, those lessons became the building blocks of my financial knowledge and growth. Failures also teach resilience. The wealthy don't see a setback as the end of the road. They see it as a bend in the path. When you embrace failure as a teacher, you cultivate patience and perseverance qualities more valuable than any dollar amount. They prepare you for the inevitable ups and downs in your financial journey. The key is not to avoid failure at all costs, but to fail wisely. Fail fast, learn fast, and move forward faster. That way, every misstep becomes a step closer to your goal. If you treat failures like treasures, you'll soon find your mindset shifting from fear to empowerment. So next time money mishaps come your way, don't despair or quit. Write down the lesson, adjust your course, and remember that every great success is built on the foundation of many small failures. Wealth grows not in spite of failure, but because of it. Take a moment and ask yourself, what do you truly believe about money? Is wealth something that happens to a lucky few, or is it a natural outcome of the right mindset and actions? The truth is, your philosophy about money, the thoughts, beliefs, and stories you tell yourself directly, shapes your financial reality. If you want to build lasting wealth, the first step isn't just learning new skills or saving more, it's upgrading your money philosophy. Many people carry limiting beliefs about money passed down from family, culture, or past experiences. Maybe you believe money is scarce, that rich people are greedy, or that you have to work yourself to exhaustion just to get by. These ideas create invisible barriers that keep you trapped in what I call mental poverty. You might work hard, but if your philosophy is poor, your results will be poor. To change your financial life, start by sitting quietly with a pen and paper. Write down every belief you have about money, good, bad, or indifferent. Be honest. Then look carefully at each one. Ask yourself, does this belief help me grow or hold me back? Is it based on facts or fear? Once you identify any limiting thoughts, it's time to replace them with empowering beliefs. Abundance thinking is the mindset of the wealthy. It says there is plenty for everyone. It believes that money is a tool for creating value, freedom, and positive impact. It knows wealth is earned through service, discipline, and wise decisions, not luck or entitlement. It embraces growth, learning, and resilience. I've seen many people transform their financial future simply by upgrading their money philosophy. When you shift from scarcity to abundance, your decisions change. You start to save more, invest wisely, and seek opportunities rather than excuses. You become the kind of person who attracts wealth, not just chases it. Remember, your mindset creates your results. Change your philosophy first, and your financial life will follow. Wealth is not just about numbers. In a bank account, it begins in your mind. Upgrade your thinking, and you upgrade your future. The company you keep is one of the most powerful influences on your financial destiny. You see, success is contagious, not because it's magic, but because it raises your standards, shifts your mindset, and teaches you new ways of thinking. If you want to build wealth, one of the smartest moves you can make is to use the law of association to your advantage. Think about it. If you spend time with people who talk only about problems, complaints, or short-term pleasures, it's easy to fall into the same patterns. But if you surround yourself with individuals who have achieved what you desire, whether that's financial success, discipline, or wisdom, you begin to absorb their habits, their mindset, and their standards. I learned this early in my own journey. When I started, I was broke and confused, but when I connected with people who thought bigger, worked harder, and believed in growth, something shifted. Their example inspired me to raise my goals, change my habits, and persist through challenges. Success leaves clues. If you want to get rich, study those who have done it. Listen to their stories, observe their routines, and emulate their mindset. This doesn't mean copying blindly, but rather learning the principles behind their success and adapting them to your life. Remember, your network is your net worth. By associating with winners, you elevate your own expectations and behavior. You become accountable to a higher standard, and your results will follow. So, make a conscious decision today. Seek out people who challenge you to grow, who inspire you to think bigger, and who hold you accountable. Your financial future depends on the company you keep. Understanding the language of finance is like learning to speak the dialect of wealth. Without it, you're wandering in a foreign land blindfolded, hoping to find treasure. But when you master the words, concepts, and principles, the path to financial success becomes clearer and more navigable. Early in my journey, I realized that money isn't just dollars and cents, it's a language. Words like equity, cash flow, return on investment, and compounding aren't just jargon, they're tools. They help you see where value lies, how wealth grows, and how to make your money work for you. Take compounding, for example. It's the silent force behind most fortunes. If you don't understand how your money grows exponentially over time, you might fall into the trap of chasing quick wins or expensive mistakes. But when you know compounding's power, you're patient, you invest wisely, and you watch your wealth multiply. Cash flow is another critical term. It's the lifeblood of any business or investment. If you have assets that generate steady cash flow, you're less dependent on trading time for money. You're building freedom, not just wealth. Return on investment, or ROI, teaches you to evaluate opportunities not just by how much they cost, but by what they give back. It's the mindset that separates speculation from smart investing. Mastering financial vocabulary isn't about memorizing words. It's about understanding concepts that empower your decisions. Just like learning any new language, it takes time and practice. Read books, listen to podcasts, ask questions, and don't be afraid to get uncomfortable. I remember when I first studied financial terms, it was like I had opened a door to a new world. Suddenly, the ideas that once seemed mysterious were clear and actionable. The confidence that comes from understanding money's language is invaluable. So, commit to learning the language of finance daily. Your ability to speak it fluently will transform how you manage money, spot opportunities, and create lasting wealth. Because when you master the language of money, you master your financial destiny. When you think about wealth, many focus on the immediate pleasures, the bigger house, the fancier car, the latest gadget. But true wealth isn't measured by what you can consume today. It's measured by what you leave behind tomorrow. Legacy is the lasting impact that extends beyond your lifetime. It's the foundation you build, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. I've met many people who were wealthy in their own time, but left nothing for those who followed. Their riches vanished like smoke because they never thought beyond their own desires. But the truly wealthy understand that money is a tool, not an end. It's the seed from which a family's future is grown, the means to create opportunities for children, grandchildren, and even communities. Thinking in terms of legacy changes your mindset. It forces you to ask different questions. How can I build assets that endure? What values and habits will I pass on? What kind of impact do I want my life to have beyond personal comfort? When you shift your focus this way, your financial decisions become wiser, your sacrifices gain purpose, and your patience grows. Building legacy means investing in things that appreciate over time: education, real estate, businesses, and relationships. It means setting up plans, trusts, or foundations that protect and grow wealth for those who come after you. It also means teaching those around you how to manage and respect that wealth. I remember starting out with little more than a vision. The motivation to build wealth wasn't just for myself, it was for my family, to give them choices I never had. That vision gave me discipline when times were tough and kept me focused on more than just immediate rewards. If you want to break free from mental poverty, start thinking generationally. Your wealth should not only enrich your life, but should also become a beacon for those who follow. True riches lie not in luxury today, but in legacy forever. Build a future your children and their children will thank you for. That is the essence of wealth. Building wealth is a journey, not a sprint. It's a long, steady climb that requires patience, persistence, and constant reflection. When you first set out, it's easy to feel motivated and energized. But as weeks turn into months, and months into years, the excitement fades and the grind begins to show its true colors. This is where many people falter. They quit when it gets hard or when results seem slow. The truth is, wealth is not built overnight. It's built over decades. The key is to review your financial plan regularly, daily, every week. Ask yourself, what's working? What isn't? Am I still aligned with my goals? These reflections aren't about perfection. They're about progress. Small course corrections keep you on track and prevent you from drifting into bad habits or distractions. Discipline is what separates those who build lasting fortunes from those who merely dream about them. It's easy to be disciplined when things are going well, but real discipline shines when the process feels boring or difficult. Those moments are tests of your commitment to your future self. Every consistent action you take, no matter how small, compounds into something significant over time. I remember early in my career facing setbacks and distractions. The temptation to give up was real, but I chose to stay the course. Over time, those small decisions added up to opportunities, wealth, and freedom that I once only dreamed of. It wasn't magic. It was simply the result of persistence. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. The wealthy understand that even when progress seems invisible, it's still happening beneath the surface. Stay focused on your vision, adjust when necessary, and keep pushing forward. That's the true path to financial success. Wealth is built one disciplined day at a time, not by occasional bursts of effort. Stay committed, stay reflective, and watch your fortunes grow. True wealth is never just about what you keep, it's also about what you give. Giving is a powerful part of building a rich life because it keeps your heart connected to something larger than yourself. When you create a giving plan, you not only help others, but you also cultivate a mindset of abundance and gratitude that attracts more opportunities and wealth into your life. Deciding in advance how much you will give, whether it's a percentage of your income, a fixed amount each month, or your time and talents, creates discipline in generosity. This isn't about occasional charity or impulsive donations. It's about making giving a consistent, intentional habit. When giving becomes a planned part of your financial strategy, it reinforces your values and your vision for a life of impact, not just accumulation. Giving humbles the spirit. It reminds you that wealth is a tool, not just a trophy. It connects you to a community and to causes that matter, fostering relationships and goodwill. Many successful people will tell you that their ability to give back has been one of the most rewarding and enriching parts of their journey. From my own experience, I have seen that the more you give, the more doors open. Wealth tends to flow toward those who are generous not because of some magical formula, but because generosity expands your network, your perspective, and your sense of purpose. It creates a cycle where abundance breeds more abundance. So, make your giving plan just as important as your saving and investing plans. When you decide how much you will contribute regularly, you build a richer life form that's not only financially secure, but deeply fulfilling. Giving is not a loss. It's an investment in your character and your legacy. True wealth is not just about possessions, it's about purpose. When you commit to giving, you invite blessings that multiply far beyond money. As we come to the close of this conversation, I want you to pause and really consider what has been shared. Wealth is not some distant dream reserved for the lucky few. It's a mindset, a discipline, and a way of living that anyone can adopt with intention and perseverance. You see, financial success doesn't come from magic or luck, it comes from daily choices, small disciplines practiced consistently over time. It's not about how much you make, but about who you become and how you manage what you have. The path to riches is paved with clear vision, thoughtful planning, disciplined habits, and a mindset that refuses to settle for mediocrity. Too many people focus only on their paycheck, hoping that one day the numbers will add up to wealth. But true wealth isn't earned by simply working for money. It's earned by working on yourself, your thoughts, your habits, your skills. You attract wealth by becoming a person of value. The market rewards value, not effort alone. When you develop a rich mindset, you open doors to opportunities others don't even see. You become a magnet for ideas, connections, and strategies that compound your income and your impact. Remember, wealth is a process, not a product. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen without struggle. But the struggles are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Every setback teaches you. Every challenge strengthens you. And every disciplined choice compounds into a legacy of abundance. The key is to stay consistent, stay patient, and stay focused on your long-term vision. I want you to think about what you want your life to look like 5, 10, 20 years from now. If you don't define it, someone else will define it for you. If you don't take control of your finances, your time, and your mindset, the world will decide those things for you. And more often than not, that means trading your dreams for someone else's agenda. Wealthy people don't drift, they direct, they don't react, they plan, and they don't wait for permission, they take responsibility. Now, this is where the power of daily disciplines comes into play. These small, consistent action saving a portion of your income first, investing regularly, educating yourself, associating with growth-minded people, guarding your time, and giving generously. These are the bricks that build a fortress of financial security and freedom. It's easy to underestimate the power of habits because they seem small and insignificant in the moment. But habits are the architecture of your future. When you master your daily disciplines, you master your destiny. And don't forget, wealth isn't just for yourself. It's for those you love, for your community, and for generations yet to come. Building wealth is also about building a legacy. What you create today can become a foundation for your children and grandchildren, not just in dollars, but in values, mindset, and vision. Think beyond your lifetime. Ask yourself, how will my wealth serve others? How will it make a difference in the world? When you invest with this purpose, wealth multiplies in ways that money alone cannot measure. But all this talk won't help if it stays theory. The greatest knowledge in the world is useless without action. I challenge you now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, to take the first step toward your financial freedom. Write down your clear vision of what wealth means to you. Set a concrete, measurable goal. Commit to one small financial discipline today whether it's saving 10% of your income, reading a page of a book, or reaching out to someone who inspires you. Make a plan to guard your time and protect your mind from distractions, and decide how you will give back, because generosity is the soil where abundance grows. You have the power to design the life you want, but it requires commitment. It requires patience. It requires courage to say no to instant gratification and yes to long-term freedom. You must be willing to change your thinking, your habits, and your associations. You must be willing to invest in yourself daily, because that is the greatest return you will ever receive. I want you to leave here today knowing this. Wealth is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. The choice to think differently, to act deliberately, and to live with purpose. The choice to build a rich mindset, cultivate rich habits, and create a rich life. This journey is yours. The steps are clear. The time is now. So go forward with confidence. Set your goals. Build your discipline. Surround yourself with growth. Guard your time. Learn constantly. Give generously. And never stop believing in your ability to create wealth beyond your wildest dreams. This is your life, your legacy, your moment. Make the decision today to think wealth daily, not wages. To build small disciplines that lead to big riches. And watch as your life transforms, not by luck or chance, but by the power of your own intention and action. Your future is waiting. Step into it with purpose.